We had just moved from Ohio to Michigan.
Yes.
We were on drugs. We came here, got clean,
yes.
and was doing great.
They come to me with these sob stories about their past and this and that. So me and my good heart, I let them in. I'm trying to do these people a favor.
They're slum lords, and he know it.
It was really frustrating for me because they're fighting all the time, especially about money.
When we did separate, we had between $25,000 and $26,000 in a joint bank account. Next day, she went in, drained the entire bank account, and put it in her own name.
He could ask for it in the divorce.
Former lawyer, mayor, and talk show host. Now, he's Judge Jerry Springer. Plaintiff Melody Shaw says the defendants ignored a bedbug infestation that left her family homeless. They're suing for $2,950. Defendants Alton and Gina Humphreys say the plaintiff is a scam artist. The defendants are countersuing for $1,000 in unpaid rent.
Case 121 on the docket, Shaw versus Humphreys.
Okay, thank you. We have here, let me see, Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
And you are suing the defendant, Mr. Humphreys?
Yes.
And,
Mrs. Humphreys?
oh, a husband and wife?
Yes.
Yes, okay. For $2,950 for the value of personal property, you are countersuing for back rent. Why don't you tell me your story?
Your Honor, these slum lords rented us a house knowing it had bed bugs in it, knowing our situation. We had just lost everything due to a fire.
We did not have bed bugs.
No.
They had bed bugs, Your Honor. The previous tenant, the tenant downstairs in the basement told us that he found a bed bug bottle in the back closet that they were spraying with the house.
Okay, and who are you?
I'm Bruce Mosley. This is my girlfriend.
Okay, if you'll step up here for a second.
I found a bed bug bottle and on the back porch. The landlord kept coming over continuously for a couple weeks at a time, spraying. He said it was for an inspection or something like that, insects. But I kept getting bit up by bugs, and I noticed that the lady downstairs, she told us that they had bed bugs in their house, and they knew that they had it from the previous tenant. And we found furniture that was laying on the side of the curb. We eventually had to lay our stuff out, TVs, my son's jerseys, championship jerseys. My brother sent me a box of clothes from out of state, and everything was ruined because of them. And they're slum lords, and he know it.
Okay. How long did you live there?
We lived there for about 6, 7 months, but we found out they had bed bugs 2 months later. Can I give you a history about us? We had just moved from Ohio to Michigan.
Yes.
We were on drugs. We came here, got clean.
Over on everybody.
We came here, got clean,
yes.
and was doing great. We had a house fire, lost everything. They knew that. We had just moved into their house. They rented this house. If they would have never rented it to us, knowing they had bed bugs, we wouldn't have moved in there if they would have been honest with us. We wouldn't have lost all of our stuff. Because of that, we're on the streets now. They evicted us. As soon as we stopped paying rent, they evicted us. But we had to stop paying rent to move because we didn't have, if we was paying rent, we didn't have money to move. So, because we were struggling doing that, you know. But I got rent receipts. This is some of our stuff that we lost.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
That's not including our bed, TV, everything. We had name brand clothes.
If you weren't paying rent for how many months?
I have rent receipts right here. We paid up until February. We moved out April 9th.
Okay, so there were 2 months, March and April.
March and April, we didn't pay.
Yeah, so there were 2 months that you hadn't.
Well, 1 month and 9 days.
No, you didn't pay February either.
I got a receipt from you.
March.
They wouldn't treat the bed bugs, Your Honor. My boyfriend,
you guys
Bruce,
are schemers. That's what you do.
He called the Aardvark people.
Okay.
They came out and did an estimate.
All right, this is a receipt for February rent. Okay, for $500. So you paid February, so you didn't pay March.
We didn't pay rent for March. We moved out April 9th. They evicted us in March.
Okay, but you didn't want to stay there if it had bed bugs.
We didn't have anywhere to go, Your Honor. We would have been left if we had somewhere to go. We didn't have anywhere to go, or we would have left. We've been homeless now because of that.
So you're staying in a shelter now, or where
No,
are you staying?
we're living on the streets, basically. We were staying at the shelter, and somebody stole all of my stuff, so we left.
Scheming.
What's your story?
I work hard for my money, and I just happened to purchase a house for my wife, and it was her project, so she know more about it than I do.
They come to me with these sob stories about their past and this and that. So me and my good heart, I let them in. I didn't even make them sign a lease or anything. I'm trying to do these people a favor.
Yeah.
You know? And so I let them move into my house, and they've been a headache since they've been there. Calling me all times of the night, complaining about this, that, and the third, complaining about the dog barking next door, like that's something I'm supposed to take care of at 2 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, calling me about saying they got these bed bugs, they're gonna rip up the carpet and stuff. I think I don't know what's wrong with them, they're crazy.
In reading your statement, there had been a bed bug problem, at least prior to the time they were there, right?
Well, we had a bed bug problem prior, yes, but
Yeah,
we took care of it.
Okay.
Your Honor, it still has the same carpet. There's no way
See,
he offered
they
to
didn't
pull up the carpet. They
I
wouldn't
asked
even do
them
that.
time and time again, could you please pull up the carpet because the bed bugs, they live in the
They're
woods.
trying to tear
They
our
said
house
we're going
up.
to keep the carpet. We're going to save the carpet.
You can't save the carpet. That's why they're still there from the previous tenants.
Sure is.
There's
That's why
always
they rented
people
us
in and
to
out of
us,
your
not
house.
to have
That's
that.
probably how you got
You
them.
We don't
lying.
have
You
all
lying.
the
You
time.
lying. You lying. I tried to stop y'all time and time again.
Your house looked like the
Y'all
homeless
kept
shelter.
We
spinning.
lost all of our
Okay.
But
belongings,
it's your
Your Honor.
property.
I get it, okay, I get it. You guys don't like each other and they're tough lives here. You're all trying to get through life, and I get your story, and I...
Well, you
and I-
can't get through life trying to scheme.
Okay, well,
I mean, we
let's
paid our
wearing
rent.
used clothes now because of them.
There were bed bugs there. What did you do to get rid of the bed bugs before they
We
came?
sprayed.
We
We
sprayed.
went and got stuff from Tractor Supply and we sprayed. We took care of it.
That's not gonna
And
kill
we
them.
sprayed with rubbing alcohol.
Okay,
I told you you needed a heat treat.
and what about the carpet?
They wanted to rip it up. We're not gonna let them tear our house up if we
No,
can prevent it.
But what if the bed bugs are under the carpet
We
and
didn't
go into
see
the
any.
woods?
I didn't see none, Your
The
Honor.
aardvark
And I
came
went
and
up
verified it, Your
down.
Honor.
did.
Did they
Who,
not
what?
come? Because you talked to them. The aardvark,
Sure did.
they came. The pest control people, they
Oh,
came.
aardvark, yeah.
Yeah, they came and they verified it, and he talked to them.
They,
So, you know.
they say they didn't see
They
any
told you
bed
they
bugs.
had
They
bed
said
bugs.
ladybugs.
They said bed bugs. You're crazy.
Okay,
He's crazy.
all
They're
right.
bed bugs. They don't ladybugs in the carpet.
Okay.
Crazy.
We had to start over twice in 1 year.
We had to start over twice in 1 year, Your Honor, so it's really hard. I think I know they owe us. They owe us that money.
We don't owe
Because
you nothing.
if
You owe
would've been
me, if
honest with us,
anything,
if you
you owe me $1,000 in rent.
we owe you $500. That's it. We stayed there 1 month and
Thank
9
you.
days
You owe
before
me.
you evicted us.
For no reason, because y'all had bed
You
bugs.
owe us
All right,
$500.
okay. You're suing them for personal property loss, which there are no receipts. We don't know how long each article of clothing was there, etc. It's hard to put a dollar amount on it. There's that. And then you, on your side,
It was
didn't have
trash.
rent. Well, people aren't trash, okay? People aren't trash. Trash is garbage stuff. They're human beings. You may be angry at them. Human beings sometimes do things that are inappropriate, whatever, but people aren't trash. Now, they stayed there, but they didn't pay you the rent, which you're entitled to the rent. So what I'm looking at is you want some money for the clothing and property that was damaged, that you lost, and you lost money because the rent wasn't paid.
We stayed there the first couple months. We didn't know it had bed bugs.
When you stay in a place, you have to pay rent. But you stayed there. You didn't leave. The law doesn't say, well, if you have no place to go, you can stay someplace and not pay rent. The law doesn't say that. Our streets are filled with homeless people that have no place to go.
But it's
But
not
the law doesn't
because of
say
them.
they're allowed to go into somebody's house and just stay there.
Right.
Okay?
But does the law say they can
slumlords.
rent us a house with bed bugs?
I am saying you don't owe them the rent for while you stayed there, and I'm saying they don't owe you. I'm going to balance it out with the property that you lost because of them. My judgment is the claim and the countersuit are both dismissed.
Wow.
Remain at the same. Remain at the same. Man.
We had to live there in a house with bed bugs, so I don't feel, if anything, we should split the rent with the bed bugs. Right?
I feel like that guy, he's stupid. The landlord, he said he had ladybugs in the house. He said he had a previous problem for ladybugs, for bed bugs, but he didn't treat them at all.
Watch out for the Humphreys. Do not rent from them because they have bed bugs.
They knew that they was wrong from the jump. They owed us, and they're trying to get another dollar out of us. They going around scheming like they always do.
Wasted our time.
Plaintiff Kathy Elwell claims her ex-husband didn't pay his share of the bills during their divorce. She's suing for $1,888. Defendant Bill Elwell says he paid every penny of his child support, and because of that, he doesn't owe a dime to his ex.
Give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Case number 17 on the docket, Elwell versus Elwell.
The plaintiff, Ms. Elwell, you are suing the defendant, Mr. Elwell, in the amount of $1,888. Why don't we start from the beginning? Tell me what's behind this suit.
Bill Elwell is my ex-husband.
How long were you married?
We were married almost 20 years.
Okay.
Yep, and we had a great marriage in the beginning. We had a child, we had a house together, we had a dog, we had the whole thing, and then he cheated on me.
I wasn't the first person to have an affair in our relationship. She was. I worked it out with her when she did.
But before we could even get a divorce, he was unemployed, so we had to pay a bankruptcy filing fee because we had to file bankruptcy before we could do it because he didn't have a job. And so the bankruptcy filing fee, I had my half, but I couldn't pay the whole thing. And since he was unemployed, he didn't have his half. So I had to borrow half of it from a brand new boyfriend that I had. So I borrowed it from my boyfriend, Randy.
Yeah.
He should be paying his half. I shouldn't have to borrow it from a brand new boyfriend. He's my witness to say that I borrowed it from him.
Yeah, it was early in the relationship, and she asked me for $850 for his half, thinking that he would pay her, and then she'd pay me.
Okay.
Well, you never manned up. You never paid her.
Okay.
So here we are.
All right.
Yep, I
I'm
have a
going to give
receipt.
you a chance afterwards, so I'm good. Yeah.
I have a receipt that shows that I paid the whole bankruptcy filing fee. It shows where I paid Randy back each month, $100 at a time, and he never paid anything. He agreed to pay it, and he just didn't pay it. He said,
Okay.
well, I'm not going to pay you back. And then I also had, in order to file bankruptcy, you have to pay for a pre and a post counseling fee, which I also paid for, and he said, well, I'll pay you back that.
Okay.
And so I have that as
What
well.
specific payments are you asking in this suit to be paid back for? You want your half back for what you paid for the bankruptcy fees. What is the other thing you're asking for money for?
I have a lot of things that he owes me back. He hasn't been paying his half of anything. We have a daughter together, and he
Okay,
isn't
but I
paying
want
for...
specifically in this suit, you're suing for $1,888. Please tell me what items.
Okay, I have a bankruptcy filing fee.
That's the one.
I have a pre and post filing fee that went with the bankruptcy. I have a dog, Scruffy. He was going to be put to sleep, and I said, I don't have the whole money. We said, he's our dog together, so he said, I'll pay for half of that, and then he just said, I'm not going to pay.
What I wanted to do was put our dog down naturally out in the woods myself. I offered to do that rather than go into a vet and have him chemically put to sleep. I thought it would be better for the dog. That was my offer at the time.
The reason that didn't go is because my daughter said nobody's going to shoot my dog.
Okay, fine. Okay, good. All right.
So that's when he said, okay, that's fine, I agree, he loves her, so let's go ahead and I'll pay for half if you have to take
Did
him
you
to the
pay
vet.
for half the dog?
No.
I mean, for half of
Yeah.
putting the dog to sleep?
No.
He did not.
When we split up, first of all, I didn't want to leave.
Okay.
She kicked me out. When I left, we owned a nice home together with an in-ground pool in the backyard that was worth a lot of money.
Yes.
I was entitled to half of the value of that home when we left. I walked away from it. I didn't ask for any money because I didn't want my daughter to have to move.
Untrue.
That's true.
Untrue.
Well-
We had two houses. He got one house, I got the other house.
They got the house that we lived in, the legitimate house where they still live. We did own another property at the time in another city that we had been renting out, which was going into foreclosure.
Yeah.
And she sort of gave me that as the consolation prize.
Third thing was the
Prom.
The prom.
Yep, Katie
Your daughter's prom.
Our daughter, Caitlin,
Hi, Caitlin.
was very excited about going to the prom.
Yes.
And so it costs a lot of money, you gotta have a lot of money, so we talked about it and said, well, Katie should go to the prom. And so we got a dress and we did the whole thing, the corsage and all of the things, and I have evidence to show that I paid
Okay.
for the
And how old are you?
dress.
I'm 18.
You're 18.
And he agreed to pay for half, and I see nothing.
Did you pay for half the?
I paid child support the entire time
I
that she was
understand.
growing
Did you
up.
pay for half of the prom?
No, and I honestly don't recall being asked to pay for half of the prom. I just assumed that was all under child support, which it actually is. And I have to say
Prom is
this
not
too.
under child support.
Can I just explain about the prom a little
Sure.
bit? It was really frustrating for me because they're always doing this back and forth with I'll ask for something and my mom will say, oh, ask your dad, and I'll ask my dad and he'll say, I pay child support, that covers it, and I'll go back to my mom. I just wanted to have a good time and
Yes.
have fun getting ready at prom, and I'm always stuck in this go-between. And
Yes.
they're fighting all the time, especially about money.
Yeah.
And I know they love me, and so I want them here at things like prom and like my graduation, and they can't always be there because they always have a back and
I
forth
was
about
there.
money.
I was
Okay.
at prom and
Okay.
graduation.
There's one other item too. When we did separate, we had between $25,000 and $26,000 in a joint bank account. We agreed that we would share that separately and be respectful. And then the next day, she went in, drained the entire bank account, and put it in her own name.
He could ask for it in the divorce. They had all the records of everything. My lawyer said put it in a new account because he was taking it for things he shouldn't have.
First of all, according to this complaint, You're asking for $100 for putting Scruffy to sleep. You're going to pay the $100 to put Scruffy to sleep?
Sure.
Okay, so the $100...
Can I do it with the money she stole from me?
I'm not getting into that. I'm only dealing, in fairness, with the $1,888 that you're suing for. And so, the first winner is Scruffy. So
What about the prom dress? What about...
Now the prom. You're going to pay half of the prom. I know you paid your child support. I get that.
And plus lots of other things.
And
I give you a
no
long
other things.
list of things.
Probably
No
lots
other
of other
things.
things.
No other things.
I'm not here to... But that doesn't matter.
At least I'm telling
This
you.
is your daughter here. There were expenses that your former wife paid the whole bill for the prom. To make your daughter feel okay about this, that at least on this issue, mom and dad aren't fighting, let's get together and say, we so love our daughter, we're not going to quibble on half the cost of her prom.
Right.
So therefore, you've paid your half, you'll pay the other half. On the bankruptcy filings, unless I don't have any written contract on that he's going to pay half of it.
Why would I have to pay the full filing fee? I paid it with all my own money.
You should have dealt with that when you were going through the bankruptcy.
You paid it with most of my money.
So you're going to get the $100 for Scruffy, and for your daughter, you are going to compensate your former wife for half the cost of the prom.
I'm happy to give my daughter
and
anything she wants to
therefore,
always have.
that comes to $925 for the daughter's expenses, $100 for the dog fees. So I find for the plaintiff $1,025.
I'm glad that I got some money, but it would have been nice to get all the money that I was owed.
I'm happy they got it sorted out, at least mostly.
The main thing is I've always put my daughter first above everything. That's why I gave up the house. That's why I walked away and didn't contest when she stole all the money. I've always given my daughter everything that she's ever wanted. So to be painted like a deadbeat dad or something like that, or who didn't pay his share, is ridiculous. And unfortunately, my wife just wants to see me unhappy. I think that's what makes her, did I say my wife? My ex-wife. Whatever makes me unhappy makes her happy.
Thanks for watching. Now please approach the bench. The way I look at it, you have two options here. Option A, watch more Judge Jerry. Option B, watch more Jerry Springer. The choice is yours. Now get out of my courtroom. You have more clips to watch. And don't forget to subscribe.